Adoption of agenda for regular meeting. Under provisions of the Public Meetings Law of the State of Missouri, the board must adopt by roll call vote an agenda that includes the time, date, place, and tentative agenda for the meeting. A copy of the notice and agenda for this meeting was posted on Monday, May 12th, 2014 at the Administration Center at 1005 Waterford Drive, Florissant, Missouri. At the same time, copies of the notice and agenda were mailed to major radio and television stations, to 4 newspapers, to all municipalities, schools in the district, and posted on the district website. Do I have a motion?
I move we adopt the agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Morris?
Mr. Ebert? Mr. Brown? Aye. Mr. Schrader? Aye. Dr. Thurman?
Aye.
Secretary votes aye. Ms. Hogshead?
Aye.
And Mr.
Adoption of agenda for closed meeting. Section 610.021 Missouri law provides for discussion of certain agenda items in a closed meeting. Notice of the proposed closed meeting, including the agenda item to be discussed, was posted. The board, by roll call vote, must authorize holding the closed meeting and approve the proposed agenda by reference to each subject to be discussed. The agenda for the closed meeting is legal. Section 610.021.1 and personnel. Section 610.021.3. Do I have a motion? Mr. Morris?
Mr. Ebert? Aye. Mr. Brown? Aye. Mr. Schrader? Aye. Dr. Thurman?
Aye.
Secretary votes aye. Ms. Hogshead? Mr. President?
Aye. All right, we have several awards to give out tonight, or recognitions. So if we'll have the 2014 Ferguson-Florissant School District Scholar World Champions for the home school. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I crossed it off. Mr. James. Sorry about that. I'm the one that invited you. We have with us tonight is Councilman Dwayne James from Ferguson. He's here tonight to give a presentation to the board and to the public regarding the Ferguson Youth Initiative. So, Mr. James.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dwayne James. I'm the counselor for the City of Ferguson Ward 2, and I'm also the board president for the Ferguson Youth Initiative. I just wanted to come here tonight to actually tell you a little bit more about the Ferguson Youth Initiative, known as FYI. We've been around for 3 years now, started as a grassroots organization to better engage and enlighten the youth in Ferguson, in the North County community, and basically help them and help Ferguson actually reach the youth a little bit better, to see how we can actually cater to those teens, 13 to 19 years old, to make sure that they're invested into the community, that what we do as a city, what we do as a community actually involves their input as well. So we work with the City of Ferguson to come up with the Ferguson Youth Advisory Board. We actually have a couple of members that are actually in the audience tonight, and that's a board of 10 youth between the ages of, like I said, 13 to 19 years old, 8 to seniors, to provide insight to make sure that if we do anything in the community that actually involves or actually affects the teenagers, that a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old or 80-year-old doesn't actually come up with an idea or with a rule that doesn't actually have their insight and their input involved. Also, we work with the Ferguson Youth Advisory Board to come up with different programs. There were a lot of things that were being done in Ferguson and in the North County community. The churches were doing stuff, Emerson Family YMCA was doing stuff, the school district was doing great things, but as a parent or as a community member, we really didn't have a central resource to go to and say, all right, what can I actually do for my 14-year-old during the summer? What programs are going on that can actually enrich them in the evening hours? So FYI worked with the advisory board to come up with a newsletter. We send it out once a month. It's called the FYI Informer, and that talks about different programs that are going on in the community. As well, we come up with programs that misses that gap. What do the teens actually want is actually not being offered in the community currently. So we've come up with several different programs. Spot 394 is a traveling teen center that we do 3 times out of the year. Open Arts is basically an open mic contest that one of the teams that I actually saw did last year. Second Saturdays is an opportunity for teens to learn to use our artistic skills a little bit better. The Ferguson Community Service Program is a new program where we have a bunch of teens and young adults that get into some type of fine violation for whatever reason. And what we found was that the teens and young adults didn't actually pay those fines, so we got into a warrant system. And getting into that warrant system, once they're on that system, they stay on that warrant system. So the community service program actually works with the city to say, all right, if you actually got a fine, 13 to 19 years old, or 16 to 17 year olds, they can actually work off that fine in the community, do service, and then they don't have to actually pay that fine. So it helps the community because it actually gives work, productive work in the community, but it also helps those teens as well, so they're not getting into the warrant system. And then we actually worked with St. Louis Bike Works to do an Earn a Bike program and an Earn a Computer program as well. So that gets kids to basically do active stuff, and then gets them to actually earn a computer after 6 sessions. So if you want to learn more information, you can go to www.fyiferdyouth.org. You can come see me, I'll be here. And then also make sure you get on that newsletter, the FYI Informer, so you can actually find out more information that's going on. And then if you want to be involved, we need volunteers. We need to make sure that what we have learned as adults actually gets transferred into the youth. And as adults, we actually listen to the youth on a different platform than just as teachers or as educators or as parents, but more as community residents as well. Any questions? I spoke up.
What can we do? Sorry about that. So what can we do as a school district to help the organization?
Wonderful. I'm glad you asked that. We have great partners. We've worked with the school district before. We've worked with Ferguson Middle and the high school as well to hold different events. But we need to get that communication system out there a little bit more. The first couple of years when we did the Ferguson Youth Advisory Board, we had trouble actually finding youth to serve on the board. So this last year is better. But we need to make sure that if we're trying to get something out to the youth, that there's less of a red tape or less of a headache to actually figure out how we can get the information that needs to get to the youth quicker. And then to see how we can actually work with the school district to say, all right, if the schools want to do something, if the teachers want to do something, we have this resource as a community to work together to do that. But right now it's more communication than anything else.
We'll have somebody from the school district contact you.
And I say that Janet Sharp has been very good. I mean, she this past year is a huge success of the first couple of years. So I'm not going to talk bad about it. Very good. Any other questions? Now that I'm up here. But again, parents, educators, students, if you have any ideas, let's just work together to see how we can actually better engage and enlighten that next generation to make sure they stay in our community, they stay involved, they stay engaged, and they actually do something positive for everyone. Thank you.
I just want to say I applaud you for your work. I mean, it's amazing. I agree with your assessment totally of everybody wants to help kids. But it does seem to get fragmented, and that's awesome to try to pull it together and see what each organization's strengths and weaknesses are and kind of build on that. I mean, it seems endless. It really does. Seems like this could really just mushroom into something awesome.
We hope.
Good
And
job,
I'm one of
good job.
many people. I'm not just the only person. There's
Right.
a whole lot of people that are doing this. I don't want to stand up here like I'm doing stuff. So, no. But yeah, thank you.
Wait, Joanna, before you leave, I can't resist. I think you have something going on Saturday?
Oh, right. This Saturday is the Ferguson Twilight Run. It's our 5th annual run that we have put on through the streets of Ferguson and North County. And it was our way of basically bringing people up to North County to actually do something that's fun, that's engaging, getting people off the couch, and actually getting people to do active, fun activities. The first year that we did it, we were hoping for 300 and we got 900 people. This year we're bringing in, at last count, 1,865 people registered for this run. So I say if you want to run, come out. You can still register up until Saturday at 5:50. If you don't want to run, you can always walk. If you don't want to run, walk, you can volunteer. If you don't want to do any of those, then just come out and basically cheer along the runners and walkers that are doing that, and they come down to downtown Ferguson at Plaza 501 and listen to a free concert of Javier Mendoza. And it's not going to be raining that night, so don't worry about the rain. There's no excuses, any of that. And then part of the proceeds for the run actually benefits the Emerson Family YMCA. The girls on the run at the community school, they have a scholarship foundation. Mary Grove recreational program, and then the Ferguson Youth Initiative, the Earn a Bike program, actually gets proceeds as well. So we're putting the proceeds back into the community as well.
You know, Dwayne, before you leave, I gotta mention that this will be the 4th time that I've walked. And it is terrific, and I enjoy it, and it's bringing Ferguson together, and it's a great thing.
Not just Ferguson, it's all in North County. I mean, we're getting people, yeah. One of the statistics, now I'll be quiet, because it's a long agenda. 35% of the people that actually participate in the run are from the Ferguson and North County community. So that means that the rest of the percentage is actually coming in and seeing North County for something better than what's actually publicized in the media a lot of the time. So it's not just something that we do to promote Ferguson, it's more just to promote all of North County and everything that we're trying to do. All the gyms that we know that are here, that we need other people to actually know this here as well. So thank you. Keep running, walking, participating, and I will hopefully see everyone in this room on Saturday at 5 o'clock for the 1 mile, 6 o'clock for the 10K, and then 6:20 for the 5K. The concert starts at 6:30 and goes on to 10 o'clock. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask Pete Wilmering, Sean Joyce, and Kristen Howell to come forward and talk to us about the 2014 Ferguson-Florissant School District Scholar Bowl.
Alex McDowell, 5th grade student at Combs Elementary. Chloe Huddleston, 5th grade student at Combs Elementary. Emily Collins, 6th grade student at Combs Elementary. These students were recognized for the 2014 Ferguson-Florissant School District Scholar Bowl champions. Congratulations. One more guy shuffled in there. Alex Moore. Couple more guys shuffled in there. Trillium Sweetman, 6th grade student at Combs Elementary. She's one of our students. And Mr. Greg Waller, the coach for our Combs Elementary Scholar.
And now we are going to move to Parker Road, and this is for the 2014 Scholar Bowl champion, 6th grader Alex Ward. And I don't think that Alex made it tonight, so I will accept this award on his behalf. Thank you very much.
For South Berkeley and for North students compete at the National DECA competition, and with Betty Fagan and Shane Hopper. Come forward, please.
Can we also have Mr. Lipinski and Dr. Muhammad? And all of our fine-looking young men as they walk to the front. McCluer South Berkeley students Andre Crump, Jordan Harden, and Savoy Smith, and McCluer North students Timothy Sutton and Jeremy Jordan represented their schools in the district at the DECA International Career Development Conference in Atlanta this month. Crump, Harden, and Smith won their district competition and placed in the top 4 in the entire state of Missouri to qualify for the national competition. Sutton and Jordan placed second in their district competition and second in the entire state of Missouri to qualify for the national competition. DECA is part of Ferguson-Florissant's marketing curriculum, and these competitions allow our students to demonstrate what they have learned in their marketing and business classes. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Lady, do you want to speak? You're all such nice looking young men. No? Would the parents please stand, these students?
Will the parents please stand? Thank you.
At this time, now that's Five Ferguson-Florissant School District students received the Green Ribbon Awards, and with Mr. Eric Hadley, Emily Turner, Jeremy Van Pelt, Christy Howes, Susan Kelly, and Robert Ricker, please come forward and inform the board.
Good evening. Real quickly, we announced the awards at the Earth Day Festival a little metro area last April. And each schools were given a certificate and a flag to hang at their school. Just real quick to show you the what they received. There's the certificate that hangs at their school. And they also received a flag. It's kind of interesting, so if you see it, I don't. It's the original Earth Day, or not Earth Day flag, but the ecology flag, and it has a circle here that stands for organism, and E that stands for ecology, and the white stripe stands for the pure air, and the green stripe stands for the green space. So that's what you'll see at their schools. And just real quickly, each school did such a great job. We have Lee Hamilton here. They have a green team that's in charge of monitoring the electrical usage and lights and smart board usage. There's also Cross Keys Middle School who earned the Gold Award. They have had a long history of recycling, starting in the 80s, and now of course do the single stream recycling along with Use Again, which last year they collected 1,000 pounds of used clothing. Parker Road, several classes at Parker Road participate in an event called Morning with No Power, which I thought was very interesting to see how you can get along with no power, how much power do we need, what is required. They also lowered their paper usage last year. Ferguson Middle has a school garden and works with the organic farm Earth Dance, and they have their students volunteer with the community through the Ferguson Community Service Program. And last but not least, we have Commons Lane, who is the only one besides Little Creek that has a certified stream team, which is number 336, the Commons Lane Cardinal Stream Team. They monitor the Paddock Creek behind their school to help understand about water, clarity, and organisms that live in the water, and the safety also. So congratulations. Teachers and students that did this, if you'd please stand up, and can they be part of the picture too? I know Joan Brown, please stand up. Derek Kirks, please stand up and come on up here. I know there's some students, let's see, Angela Anderson also probably had some of her Green Team students joining them.
Kelsey's family, if you come up as well, please. Mom, can we have you? All right, it's my pleasure to introduce Kelsey Frazier, and she wrote an essay as selected as the third place winner in the Iota by Lambda Sorority Inc. Alpha Zeta Chapter National Essay Contest for high school students. Ms. Frazier was honored at the sorority's 32nd annual Apple for the Teacher Awards luncheon last fall. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Mr. Van Pelt, could you please come forward and introduce your teachers who helped save the life of one of your students?
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. I was part of an event that nobody wants to really be a part of, but it came out miraculously, and it was thanks to three very important individuals. I'll just start over here to the right. Our nurse, Vicki Curtis, will you please come forward? Scott McMurray, PE teacher, trustees. Florissant Police Officer, School Resource Officer, Kim Berry. And to give some background knowledge about why this is happening, on March 31st, one of our students, his heart failed during PE class, and it was due to the very quick reactions of these three courageous individuals that restored heartbeat, had the clarity of thought to use our automated external defibrillator device that was right outside the gym, that then led the way and actually restored the heart to a regular heartbeat of one Teron Nance. Teron, will you please come forward with your mom, Shauna Ellis? Tell you that by all accounts from the St. Louis Children's Hospital, they said that these three individuals, the reaction time, their quick and clear thought, absolutely allowed Teron to have a full functional life. Internal defibrillator has been implanted, and he is now just another student who annoys me at school. He is a celebrity. So I would like to present them to you guys. Scott McMurray. Officer Berry. And Nurse Vicki Curtis. You know, it's not often that you actually get to meet real life heroes, but these three individuals are real life heroes. And I'm sure Ms. Ellis cannot thank you enough, and I can't thank you enough for saving questions. Police representatives, if you would like to come up, please. I can't speak enough to the training of Officer Berry and how quickly she reacted as well. Thank you, Mr. Fagan.
school vocal and strings teacher, Mrs. Emma Creek, was recently awarded the Peabody Leaders in Education Award. If Tangi Oglesby and Dave Watkins could come forward, please, at this time and make a presentation. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Diggs. Eight outstanding Ferguson-Florissant School District students have been selected for the Missouri Fine Arts Academy. Would Mr. Gary Spiller, Betty Fagan, Dr. Shane Hopper, and Doug Irwin please come forward and congratulate your students.
Good evening. Could I have those students who were accepted to the Missouri Fine Arts Academy come forward, please? Sophomores and juniors from all three Ferguson-Florissant high schools were selected to participate in the 2014 Missouri Fine Arts Academy, which will be held on the campus of Missouri State University from June 8th to 28th. As Fine Arts Content Leader for the district, one of the things that thrills me is this is the first year we have had students from all three schools accepted. Also, this is the third year in a row Ferguson-Florissant has had more students accepted than any other school district in the state of Missouri. 200 students are selected from Missouri Fine Arts Academy. Each year, the top 50 students in each of their respective artistic disciplines are selected. This year, 8 students are from our district. Each receives 3 hours of college credit for the program, and they receive a renewable 3-hour college scholarship for their entire collegiate career each semester until graduation. The students selected are from McCluer High School, J. Ron Curry for theater and Destiny Speech for theater. From McCluer North, Monet Britz for vocal music, Melvin Bozeman for vocal music, Brendan Henley for theater, Michael Hodge for theater, and Taryn Farley for band. And from McCluer South Berkeley, Stephen Hale for band. And again, this is the first year a student from McCluer South Berkeley was accepted.
Mr. Irwin, if you'd stay up here, please. I think you have another introduction of the McCluer High School Theater Department students selected to represent the United States at the International Festival.
This year, McCluer High School is one of 40 schools in the United States selected to represent the United States in the International High School Theater Festival. So in 2016, so 2 years from now, we will be journeying to Edinburgh, Scotland for 3 weeks, where the students will perform a show along with 40 other high schools. It's a huge honor. You have to be nominated by representatives from local universities, and then there's an intense selection process where they look over your work for the past 5 years. So we're very pleased to have won this award for this year.
Everyone is sitting down. Would any parents of any of the students recognized tonight, or any spouses or loved ones of anybody that was recognized tonight, please stand up because you're part of the support team also. Thank you very much. Sorry I didn't do it as we were going along.
This portion of the meeting is allocated for the board to provide an update of current activities and events in the district that may be of special interest to board members and the community. And we will start with Mr. Brown. Mr. Eber.
First, I'd like to mention the Cross Keys school where the young man's life was saved. I do know that Jeremy Van Pelt spent countless hours at the hospital, and I know he's too humble to say anything about it, but I have to mention it because I just love the family atmosphere. The whole district hopefully is coming to, and definitely Cross Keys has that, and 2 of my 3 children will be attending that school next year, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm looking at that. As far as my list of items, it was a busy April and May, that's for sure. I had the honor to MC a Santa event. We celebrated the life of Kwesi Prince, a student at Combs Elementary, where all 3 of my children go. He lost his battle to brain cancer after 5 years, and he was my son's best friend. They were in one of his best friends, and they were in Boy Scouts and everything together. And this young man, it was amazing what the family went through in those years, and being a part of it was an experience I'll never forget. This young man, his journey, I think taught us all a little bit about love and compassion. And I sit there and I'm humbled whenever I see people, that are going through things. You just sit back and are amazed how they're so strong, and I question myself how I would react to something like that. But it was a good event to help the family with so many medical bills through the years. And I want to mention that if anybody would like to contribute, they can give to the Combs PTO in the Combs School PTO in the name of Kwesi Prince. On other notes, it was a lot of committee meetings with the district this month. Technology with Rich Miller, who tried to make technology fun. That was interesting. Discipline committee with Gary Beals. Trying to look into new and exciting ways to bring a different culture to the district. So that should be an exciting thing to watch as we go forward. Part of a 2-day workshop with the strategic plan people, Gigi Mix and Steve Finkelstein. And that was actually exciting, fun. You get to see all kinds of different input, from all different people, all kinds of walks of life, and it's really a good process to be a part of. All these committees really do point, it's hard to sit on these committees and not stare at the big white elephant in the room, which is they all sort of, one way or another, come back to the finances in the district. And we really have got to work together to get this tax levy in August passed for the community, for the district. I mean, no community thrives without a real good, healthy public school district. And I'm looking forward to working hard to hopefully help that pass. Let's see, some other things. My family attended Celebrate Children, and they had a play, and they loved that. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it. and a play at Ferguson Middle with Carolyn Cook, directing Raising Men's Son. And man, that's all they talk about for a couple of days. We've got some great things going on here in this district. I went to a book fair at Parker Road with Principal Christy Houle and Miss Olson, who really, wow, were they, it was amazing. I'd encourage everybody to go to Parker Road's book fair next year if they have, because wow, I mean, demonstrations and books, and we got to buy some books for the kids, so that was exciting too. We started a superintendent search, so we want the whole community, everybody to be involved. That should be exciting moving forward also. And I guess, who could pass up this Sunday? It's going to be a great day. 3 high schools graduating, and all the hard work these kids put through and put in their high school careers, and all the parents behind them. So that's always a real exciting event for me. Watching these kids, I guess, takes me back about 4 years, but it's really a great event and exciting for everybody. So that's all I have right now.
Well, let's see. Mr. Ebert took everything I wrote down, so I guess I don't have to say anything. Actually, there was a couple things that he didn't hit, and it has been a very busy month. And indeed, the science fair that was at the hub here, terrific to come and watch our students demonstrate their abilities in the science area, and it's terrific. I think we do that every year. It's the second time I've attended, and thoroughly enjoyable, and I do encourage everybody to come out and see that when that takes place. And then the following Saturday, Little Creek had their program again, as Eric had mentioned. Gosh, if you have not been to Little Creek, it's one of our crown jewels, and it is terrific. And when they have these types of activities, you learn an awful lot, and it's quite enjoyable. Again, the strategic planning is going along quite well, and I'm very encouraged about that. And Celebrate Children was terrific last night, and I'm sure it was terrific this morning, as well as right now. What a great program, and terrific to watch. And then, of course, graduation on Sunday. I think the part I like the most is watching parents. So anyway, we're all ready to shake hands for all those kids. So it's been a terrific month, and look forward to graduation Sunday.
I guess I'm up.
You're up.
I guess it was a week and a half ago, I attended the Senior Honors Luncheon for the graduating class at McCluer South Berkeley. And among all the awards and the wonderful things that were presented, one thing that really stood out, and I would certainly hope that we could get the press to pick up on something like this. I believe there's about 109 graduates from McCluer South Berkeley this year. Almost $1.5 million in scholarship awards. Our students really do go off and really do well, in spite of what you might read in the general press. And I think if we could get the press to at least pick up on some small things like that, people might notice what's really going on in this district. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Donna Thurman, and I'm the newest board member, and I want to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you. And it has been an eye-opening experience for me. The month of May is a very, very exciting month on the board, and I'm learning that firsthand. But I do want to say thank you also to the board for the final welcome, and I thank you for your support. And I also just want to say to Margie Brill If you don't know her, she has been phenomenal in helping me get acclimated to the board. And I want to say thank you because she really does not work. She has made it so easy and fun for me so far, and I really appreciate that. And Larry as well, Mr. LaRue, Larry LaRue, thank you so much for your help and your support. I really appreciate that. I had the opportunity this morning to go and see Celebrate Children. One of the things that's fascinating for me, as many of you may know, I am a retired principal from Griffith School and also home, and worked in the district for 15 years. So it was really wonderful to go back and sit as a board member and watch Celebrate Children. It's a program that I hope, I know how difficult it is right now financially, but this is something that's so wonderful for our district. And then to look at the individual children and how it affects them, it's also very, very wonderful. I've had an opportunity to serve on a couple of committees so far, and that's been very, very interesting. The strategic plan is, it's awesome, really. It really is. If you've not had an opportunity to be a part of that, you really should try to get involved with the strategic plan. It's something that I think is going to help our district move forward. I had the opportunity to go to the Missouri Board training session that was in Columbia a couple of weeks ago. And that's been very helpful to me too as a new board member, because I don't know all of the ins and outs of being on the school board. Yes, it's easy to hear it from the people who are sitting here, but to go out and to listen to all the different laws and rules and the sunshine law and how that works, and it's really has been very helpful to me. So I appreciate the fact that we are a part of the Missouri State School Board Association. So that's been very, very helpful to me, and I'm looking forward to graduation on Sunday. I will have the opportunity to shake the hands of some of my students, former students, who attended Holman Elementary School. So I'm really looking forward to that. So again, I want to say thank you for your support, and thank you to the board.
As Dr. Thurman said, May is a busy month, so is April. We had lots going on. I did get the opportunity to go see Celebrate Children last night. It was a great performance as always. They do a marvelous job. Really appreciate that. I got to see Mr. Hadley in Little Creek at Earth Day in April. That was very nice. I think he said it was the biggest attended yet so far, and had over 200 people out there celebrating Earth Day at Little Creek. Fabulous resource that we are very, very fortunate to have in this district. Only one of 3 of them in the country that have that kind of acreage dedicated to a nature preserve. We're wrapping up strategic planning. That's been a long process, but we had 2 meetings this past week on strategic planning. All's going well. We're going to wrap that up here shortly and have a final presentation on that. Also got to see Dr. Diggs win an award at the North County Churches United Awards Dinner. Congratulate her on that. Probably the most interesting thing that I did this past month was the state was in to review our focus schools, and to go over that and to watch that whole process. One of the changes that we made last year on the board was the presentations made by the schools. Instead of reading off data after data after data, we asked them to give us something interesting about their schools, something that made their schools different. And when they got up to give their presentations to the state this year, that's what they used. And the state was very impressed with that, so I was very happy to see that. And as far as I know, that went well. Yes.
Dr. Diggs.
Yes. So, and one last thing, speaking of graduation, I can don't see Mr. Hampton here tonight, but I see his able-bodied aide, Holden Martinez, over there. We can't have a board meeting without Martinez, apparently, so thank you very much, and he will be graduating on Sunday, so. Thank you for spending your evening sitting with us. Thank you.
Being at this end of the table, everybody else gets to say all of the stuff, so I just have a couple things that I want to add, and that is that this will be our last board meeting during the school year, and I want to again thank Mr. LaRue and all of the cabinet and everyone that has worked so hard, the teachers, the staff, the NEA for negotiations, and everyone who's just done an outstanding job this school year. You all just really made Ferguson-Florissant what it is. And the other thing that hasn't been mentioned yet was the 3 scholar athletes that were in Sunday's paper from all 3 high schools. And so I want to congratulate the scholar athletes from all 3 schools.
As everybody else said, this has been an incredibly busy month, but it's been quite rewarding as we're kind of bringing all the final pieces into all the committees we've been meeting on, putting the plans for. So it's been really nice to see the culmination of all that work that's being put together. I started off in the middle of April with a tour of Robinwood Elementary. It brought back memories for me because it's a California-style school. And I grew up in Southern California as a child up through 7th grade. So when I was going through that school, it brought back all those memories, but it also reminded me of that big paddle my 6th grade teacher liked to bring out as well. But they do not use that in our schools, just to let you know that. But Melinda Ice was fantastic at giving the tour. I got to do several classroom observations and also talk to several of the students. So I thank Robinwood for their hospitality. I attended 2 subcommittees with the special school district as a joint special school district committee as they're developing a plan to bring more cohesiveness in the classroom teaching instruction between our general teachers as well as the SSD teachers, and it seems to be a really good plan. People are working towards a common goal of what is best for the students. And that's been a very rewarding experience for me. Again, I also attended the technology committee as Rich was presenting his plan that he has to put in line with the new state standards. And I think he might make a presentation on that this month or next month on that one. Attended the 21st Century After School program. This was a program I heard about, but I had never actually attended and participated in, and it was really, really fun. The kids got up and did some of the drama techniques, their dancing, artwork, played chess, talked with the science people as they did experiments, and that was a really great experience over at Walnut Grove. Attended the North County Churches United for Racial Harmony for the Justice Youth Task Force Appreciation Dinner. Friday the 2nd, I don't know if you all caught it, Fox 2 Live did a broadcast in downtown Ferguson. That was unbelievable. Big hats off and thank you to Jana, to the McCluer South Berkeley Marching Band, to the Bode Elementary Orchestra. They were both highlighted during that broadcast. And that put a really great feather in the district's hat. We were finalizing the strategic planning workshop. Thank you to every parent, every teacher, every administrator, every soul that put their time and effort into that process. We're not quite done yet, but I know there have been several meetings. And on this particular workshop, it consisted of everybody coming together, developing and trying to finalize the mission statement, our vision, the strategic focus. I think the district is going in the right place. We are having a roadmap, and I know that presentation will be presented out very soon as well. Last night, attended the McCluer High School band, as well as the Celebrate Children. Fantastic shows as always. Did the Little Creek for Earth Day, and also attended the meetings with Mr. Morris for state. They came in with the presentation for our focus schools. But thank you to everybody for all their help over the last school year. As a father with 2 children in the school district, I too am excited the school year is about over. I no longer have to be on my kids about homework and checking their grades and deadline and making sure they have money in their accounts to feed them. But thank you to everybody in the districts for all their efforts for this year. All right, next up will be Senator Badougal, or is it going to be Frank? It's you. All right.
Although I want to acknowledge Frank Green, he'll be our president starting May 30th. Let's hear it for Frank. And as they say, Sandra will jump for joy on May 29th, and that's true. It will be long and happy. Now, what I wanted to say tonight is thank you to everyone. We've been working hard all year, and you've heard it, and we have seen the results. So many of our students achieving, so many of our community members involved. Big challenges ahead of us next year, huge. And among all of those challenges, many of them will be trying to balance the economic with the compassionate, with the values that we want to represent in our communities and our schools, and the things that we can actually afford to do. And so much of that will depend on an incredible force of volunteers that we have in this district. People who work hard all the time so that we can have the best school district we know how. Thank you all.
Mr. Williams?
Good evening. I'd like to begin tonight by way of a couple of introductions. If I may, Dr. Ingrid McClendon, would you come forward, please? Dr. Ingrid McClendon has been approved by the Board of Education as principal of Airport Elementary School. Dr. McClendon most recently served as a reading teacher at McCluer Berkeley High School and taught reading in the Ferguson-Florissant School District since 2000 in various locations. She's received her doctorate in education and master's degree in education administration from Lindenwood University. Congratulations. Is there anything that you'd like to say this evening?
Good evening again. I just want to say that I'm excited about working at Airport, being a role model and a leader at a wonderful school, a school that I attended as a child, a school that I also taught at, and a community that I also grew up in. So I'm very excited about working with the students and the parents and the community, and we'll be a winning team to make Airport School #1. And thank you again.
I'd also like to recognize Mr. Steve Lawler. Mr. Steve Lawler, would you please come forward? Mr. Lawler has been approved by the Board of Education as principal of McCluer South Berkeley High School. Mr. Lawler has served as Berkeley Middle School principal since 2009, where he was instrumental in leading school improvement initiatives which have brought Berkeley Middle School into the forefront of school reform. Prior to serving at Berkeley Middle School, Mr. Lawler served as a principal in the Maplewood-Richmond Heights School District and as an assistant principal in the Rittner School District. He has a master's degree in educational leadership and is currently working on his specialist degree. Mr. Lawler.
You know, I love to talk. Yeah. Good evening. So I am really excited and have a unique opportunity because for the last 5 years I've been sending my children up to McCluer South Berkeley. So now I get to rejoin them and watch them grow. I go to graduation and watch them every year. It's a great experience because as 7th graders and 8th graders, they're not all together all the time. But by the time they're seniors, you see that growth in them. And I'm really excited about going up to the high school to graduate. I've been kidding with people saying it's only taken me 21 years to graduate middle school, so hopefully it doesn't take me that so long to graduate high school. So I appreciate the opportunity and thank the board for giving it to me.
There are just a couple of other items that I'd like to call your attention to. We've had 11 schools recognized for their climate. This is for positive behavior support. These schools include Central Elementary, Commons Lane, Cross Keys, Ferguson Middle, Johnson Wabash, and Vote. All of these received bronze awards. Holman Elementary, Wedgwood, and McCluer High School received silver awards. And 2 schools, Combs and Hallsbury, received gold awards. So, congratulations to all of the schools. As noted, especially the Commons Lane, Ferguson Middle, Holman, and Johnson Wabash, for receiving the award for the first time, and the Combs for moving from a silver award to a gold award. One other item that we should call attention to as we end the school year is that we have a retiree recognition next Wednesday. It's always tough to see employees that have served and have done so much for us to leave. That recognition is next Wednesday at Staff Development Center, and you can never do enough for our retirees. The last item I have is we're just about finished. The last day for school, May 28th. It's a half day of attendance for students, so we're close. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to take a short recess for about 10 minutes. We still have several agenda items to go through, so thank you. We'll be out there when you talk. Agenda item will be the audience participation. The board allocates this portion of the meeting for audience participation regarding items listed on this evening's agenda. Members of the audience who wish to speak to the board are requested to speak from the podium, identify themselves, and to limit the remarks to 3 minutes. In keeping with district policies 4054, 4059, and personnel law, speakers should refrain from making negative comments that are personally identifiable. According to the policy, the board will not respond to public comments. Time is allocated at the end of the public session for suggestions and or questions from the audience on other subjects not on tonight's agenda. Please identify the agenda item 17 through 29. and that will be addressed. Do we have anybody that wishes to speak?
My name is Ben Schultz. I'm a junior at McCluer High School, and I was going to talk about 16C, the personnel. I'm a proud student of McCluer High School, but I was a little disappointed when I heard the other day that the accompanist position was being cut from the fine arts program. I sent Mr. LaRue an email about that. I'm a very avid participant in the fine arts program, and I believe very deeply in what it does for students. The accompanist position, which is occupied right now by Miss Francine Holbein, she does a lot of things more than just accompanying for the choir. She plays in orchestra concerts, band choir concerts. She does the musical. She does a lot of things behind the scenes. I was just counting the other day. She has to learn upwards of 100 songs a year to play for concerts for all 4 of the choirs, for orchestra, for bands, and then every spring she sacrifices her time to play solos for any singer, orchestra, or band member that wishes to take their art to a district competition and then to a state competition. She sacrifices her time to do that. And just everything she does, she takes so much pressure off the teachers, and she's really a wonderful member of the fine arts program. And it's a very important program at our school. I believe it's one of the flagship programs at our school. Every year the choir takes a trip to compete out of the state, and we win. I'm just going to be honest. We're a good program, and it's because of the time that she dedicates to make us better, and all the work that she does behind the scenes makes it a lot easier for Mr. Baker, the director, to be in complete control of our choir and make us really one of the good programs. And this sends people to college. Those people from the Fine Arts Academy, those 2 choir members, those are my friends, and specifically Melvin Bozeman. He's been offered a full ride to college for singing, and I'm sure that's thanks in large part to what she does behind the scenes to take the pressure off of the choir director and to work in all the fine arts together. And I was just wondering how many students her job has impacted, so I had any current student at McCluer North that she's played for sign a little sheet. It's not a petition. I was just trying to see how many people she had worked for, and I got 179 people, current students at McCluer North, that have been directly impacted by her. And using my fine McCluer North education, that's 10% of our current student body. So 1 out of every 10 students here is impacted by what she does. And it's very important. This fine arts program is crucial to some people. It's their ticket to college. And I believe very firmly in it, and I know that she does. I know that Mr. Baker does. And it's very big in a lot of our lives. And I'd heard that there had been suggested that she worked on a 3-day-a-week, 4-hour-a-day basis, and I would just really encourage and hope that you guys would consider that, or consider anything that would allow her to work there, anything part-time, because the work she does for the choir, orchestra, band, theater department is just amazing. She does an incredible amount of work and is so underappreciated. I would really encourage you guys to think about that. And I was even talking to her, and she said that this upcoming year, she was planning to be her last year because we just hired a new choir teacher to help Mr. Baker, the current choir teacher. And she said that she was just going to stay 1 more year to sort of break him in and teach him how it works, and then she was going to sort of step off and let him take her position, so it's not even a long-term requirement. But I would just really hope that you guys would consider this and do anything you could to possibly bring her back, because it's a vital position to a very vital part of McCluer North and the students that graduate and look to have a future in educator and music and anything. And I would just really hope that you guys would try to do this. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else who wishes to speak? Okay, thank you. Our next agenda item is the consent agenda. Would Mr. Morris please read off the disbursements?
Payroll, teacher and non-teacher, $7,136,417.37. Operational disbursements, $2,133,643.01, for a grand total of $9,270,060.38.
Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first by Ms. Hogshead. Was that Mr. Ebert that seconded? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. Okay, all right. We're going to go into the curriculum and instruction for the building level progress. If Nicole Weitzel will please come forward. Yeah.
Good evening. Tonight we have three principals who will share unique programs about their school that contribute to the overall success, and their PowerPoints of their strategic area focus plan update was also shared with the board. And our first principal is Robin Witherspoon, principal of Johnson-Wabash.
All right, I'm running because I know Nicole Weitzel puts the timer on me every year, so I am going to speak quickly. My staff is here, and we have been up working since 7:30 this morning with new teacher evaluation policies and procedures. We've also worked last night until 9:30 with the production of Willy Wonka over at McCluer South Berkeley. So this is a dedicated staff of people who work probably 12 to 15 hours a day. So I'll get started talking about Johnson-Wabash, a school of peace and love. I am honored to stand in front of Dr. Thurman, who was the first person to give me a job in the Ferguson-Florissant School District in 1998 as a reading teacher. And I have to say that she told me years ago, go back to school, get your master's, you should become an educational leader. And it is because of that inspiration that I am here today. So I just want to shout that. So we are a school of peace and love. And I tell you, before we can even get to educating children, we need to work on their spirits and their minds and their souls. And so we have decided that we are going to go full force with this message. The message of Dr. King being peacemakers, being people of love, being people who are committed to do whatever it takes to show the world that we can resolve issues peacefully and that we can do things in love, treating people like we want to be treated. A simple message. We also want to value the story of others. So we have a peace club, and we have all kinds of activities for boys and girls to really get deep into the idea of Dr. King. We are looking at our students and looking at data, and we have found that our students that have been at Johnson-Wabash score at high basic to advanced and proficient. Yeah, help me move this. Okay. And thank you. And our students that came in this year we found to be really, really below that. So we identified students that we thought would need intervention. However, our new students came in needing that support. So under the leadership of Vanessa Howard, my reading coach, and Dawn Stevens, my reading teacher, they put together a program entitled our College Prep Reading Intervention. And my specialists, art, music, library, PE, the counselor, support staff, all took reading groups, even I did. And we looked at data over 8 weeks, and if you can see the graph, our students made an average of 2 months to 9 months growth on the reading assessment, the STAR. So it's a team effort of everyone coming together, showing improvement. We also looked at data during our data team process, and we found that behind the glass observations, teachers leading other teachers proved to be very instrumental in finding what really works. So we use the data team process to talk about students, but also to look at what good teaching looks like. And we found that to be effective. We exceeded expectations last year on the MAP test with our science scores. So we looked at what we did last year, and we even improved that under our leadership of our coach, where we had science stations. And the students had an intensive science lab for 5th grade. They also worked the last 2 weeks before the MAP test on science concepts from 2nd grade to 5th grade. And then we moved about the building with these fun science labs. We did that for English language arts and math. Also, our boys and girls at Johnson Wabash are very energetic people. And so as we looked at our students that needed support, like our Tier 3 students under our PBIS criteria, we found that they needed more than those classroom interventions. So we have a group of ladies, we call them Walking into Womanhood. And these young ladies are journaling about their lives at the age of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And they are looking at things that have happened to them or things that they've experienced and making decisions on how to be better people. We have our Boys to Men's group, our Boys to Men. And these are Tier 3 boys and girls who are working as well to make better decisions. We're talking about setting goals and how we can be better men. Quite often the boys are angry because they say they don't have men in their lives. And so we're talking about what does it look like? What did you want? What do you want? And how can you be that man that you wanted? Of course, we have fun at JW. We celebrate every month. We have assemblies that rock the house. We are very positive. Shout outs to our boys and girls. Continual positive experiences at JW. Every month, there's a celebration. And then to be college and career ready. We are truly talking about that in kindergarten. If you walk into Mrs. Times' kindergarten room, those boys and girls welcome you and tell you about the university they will attend or the careers that they choose. Under the leadership of our counselor, Ms. Peckman, and a group of dynamic teachers, we're putting together a college fair that will be second to none. I tell you, we have people that come out from all walks of life to share with our boys and girls. So Johnson Wabash has some great things going on. We are really focusing on lifting children. We are truly a school of peace. We are truly a school of love because we believe that love does not fail. It will not fail you. And I know that seems kind of hippie, abstract conversation, but I'm telling you what, I know. My boys and girls feel it. And if we want to change the world, if we want to change what reality TV is telling us is what's up, like Real Hip Hop Housewives and all that, we have to have a place at Johnson Wabash where that's not our reality. So I do thank you for my 5 minutes and let you know that come on by, check us out. We have a fabulous fair on the, what day? The 20th. Come on by and see all this great stuff going on, Johnson Wabash. Come on up, JW, stand up. And these are tired people today, tired people.
Thank you, Ms. Witherspoon. And our next school presentation is from Walnut Grove, Ms. Julie White, principal, and Janet Walker, assistant principal.
Good evening. This can't be done. The accomplishments that we have achieved and that we are still achieving at Walnut Grove cannot be done without the help of Janet as the assistant principal, as well as all of the teacher leaders. So I want to give recognition to them as well. The first slide that you see up here, the instructional leadership team, which is made up of reading coaches, the counselor, and administration, along with the PBIS team, chose the book The Leader in Me by Stephen Covey to be our research-based student ambassador leadership program. Schools across the nation have found profound results in student achievement, behavioral achievement, and they attribute it to the growth results of the implementation of the Leader in Me. We did the Leader in Me pilot only for 5th grade for this year, and they did student data binders, and they hold their own data meetings in their classrooms. It's a similar model to what I believe you've already heard from Lee Hamilton. We collaborate and are sharing strengths, forms, and different things that are working. Student attributes include a greater sense of ownership, a common language, goal setting, independent learning, class data meetings, self-monitoring, and self-reflection. The one grade level, 5th grade, that has the implementation of this program has identified the grade level, it has proven to strengthen the learning community, so it will now be implemented in grades 3 through 6 for the 2014-15 school year. The next highlighted area that I wanted to share, and what you see in front of you, is an actual data binder. The individual mission statements and classroom mission statements are one of the components of the Leader in Me data binders. A second component is academic and behavioral goal setting, which with John Hattie's research has the greatest effect size on student achievement. The students graph on a weekly and sometimes a daily basis in their data binders. The next one is by making student, we also have data walls. That is another highlighted area that's everywhere. Every learning community has a data wall. You see 3 different colors because that is that star reading, star math, is star math. And that's 3 different classrooms or a 3-section school, K through 6. What we have found is that by making student data and growth achievement transparent, where it's right out there in everybody's face with student names, we're tapping into the most precious commodity and resource, and that's the student. So students are now owning their own learning. It's evidence in that at the beginning of the year, the first progress monitoring with STAR data as our math target in grades 2 through 6, we had 127 students, grades 2 through 6, that were below basic in both reading and math. And our most recent current data, progress monitoring that we have just completed, we only have between grades 2 and 6, 18 students. So we have gone from 127 students below basic in reading and math to 18 students below basic in reading and math, which is a huge accomplishment. We're not all the way there yet. We have very much gone from a below basic school to a basic school, and so we are now looking at something else that we need to do school-wide to get us to proficient and advanced in year 3. Thank you. We do attribute a lot of that to the students because we tapped into them as a resource. The next slide is a timeline implementation. Anytime we are piloting something, we're trying to keep very detailed notes and timeline so that if we wanted to replicate it, if we saw that it was successful, we would replicate it and we would very easily be able to go back and look at our implementation. So it began with a book study in August. This is exactly what we'll do with grades 3 through 6. If another principal in another building or in another district wish to implement data binders in the Leader in Me, they could follow this timeline and implementation. It can now be replicated and sustained over time. A big highlight that came out of this was that the students were able to do student-led conferences in 5th grade, and we plan on doing grades 2 through 6 student-led conferences next year as well. I also want to applaud some members of administration that came over on October 18th, right before student conferences, and they actually were the mock parents and let the students practice doing their student-led conferences prior to our actual conferences. The last slide that you see is our drum and community circle time. This is every morning. I invite any of you to come to this. It begins promptly at 8:30. It is a morning cadence from K1 and 2, where a student ambassador, student leader is using the drum, and there is a very nice, soothing beat to the drum Students walk in cadence and in silence, and they coil around the gym. At that time, the speaker, the facilitator, which is either myself or a teacher leader, greets the students in the morning in a very calm way, and we also then talk about some safety issues. We do some reminders to students about school student code of conduct. We do PBIS focus lessons, and then we also provide some time to do a few 3 to 5 academic questions. Students are also always answering those questions in complete sentences, and we always do a shout out and a congratulations for the correct answer. Again, it takes about 8 to 10 minutes, that's every morning, and then the drum continues and the students exit also in silence and go down to their classroom. Last but not least on that picture, it's okay though, because I didn't say anything and I already moved the paper. I'm very excited about the partnership that's going on between SSD and Walnut Grove. Let me get back to all of a sudden I got nervous, I apologize. This is evident in the creation of our level learning communities, grades 3 through 5, which is what we will be doing next year. Instead of at Walnut Grove having pods of grade levels, we will have a grade 3, 4, 5 learning community in each of those 3 pods. And then the last pod at Walnut Grove will be called Intervention Central, where we'll have special education staff and general education staff that will be providing intervention, targeted and strategic intervention for social literacy, reading, writing, and math for general education students that have already been identified through the data team process, or special education students. And I'm doing that under the direction of Dr. Diggs. I'm working with Dr. Diggs, Dr. McNamara, and Dr. Bland. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White and Ms. Walker. And our last principal presentation is Mr. Gary Spiller, principal of McCluer High School.
One moment. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to McCluer High School. My name is Gary Spiller. I'm the building principal. At McCluer, we've got a lot to be proud of. We do an awful lot of work with a lot of outstanding young people on a daily basis. On your seats, or when you came in, you have one sheet, Ms. Madruzik. I did this for you. Whenever I printed this out, I had 30 pages of points of pride of things to be proud of, and I condensed it to 1 page. So, Ms. Madruzik, that was for you. But at McCluer, I truly believe we have 1,200 of the finest students in the state of Missouri. I've got 140 awesome certified support staff, and actually tonight I've got 23 of them here, so if my staff could stand up and be recognized, I appreciate you guys coming out and supporting. With my staff, they're an unbelievable group. They educate, they lead, they serve, they care, they love. Bottom line, they're the difference makers that our kids need, and I'm honored and blessed to lead and serve and work with them on a daily basis. At McCluer High School, we changed our mission statement this year. Our mission is real simple. It's to provide a challenging educational experience that will inspire and empower all students to think critically, creatively, communicate effectively, and become responsible citizens who carry themselves with integrity in an ever-changing world. In short, that means that whenever we're putting kids when kids are leaving McCluer High School, they are leaving college and career ready. I know Mr. Schrader tonight talked about MSB and the strides that they made on getting scholarship money, and that is absolutely awesome. I'm proud to share with the board tonight that this year's class at McCluer High School has earned $3.2 million in scholarships and has been accepted to over 104 different colleges or institutions. So we're extremely proud of those kids. Tonight, again, instead of me telling you a lot of what we're doing, I know I gave you guys some data up front. It's easier for me to show you, what makes McCluer the best kept secret in North County. And at this time, I present to you guys Happy. At least I'll try to. So in short, you get to see a little bit of what makes McCluer different. It's a special place, a place where people care about each other, care about our kids. We're a little unique and different, but bottom line, teaching and learning comes first, our kids come first, and again, our focus is on college and career readiness. I'd be wrong if I didn't do this, but Reagan Wesley Stewart, please stand up. Miss Wesley Stewart was the creator of that video. She's an unbelievable math teacher, also a Peabody Leader in Education Award winner, and just an outstanding educator in person. So thank you for putting that together. And again, thank you for your attention to what goes on daily here at McCluer and throughout the year. So thank you. Yes, can the McCluer staff please stand one more time to be recognized? Thank you.
That was for board information only, so there'll be no vote. And so now following that, we'll be talking about the centralized library subscription bid. So Dr. Diggs, Dr. Ward's coming up.
Wow, I have to follow that. The instruction department receives bids for the annual centralized library periodical subscription service. Board members have received a summary of the bid. The periodical materials to be received are included in the 2014-15 district library budget. Bids were sent to 4 vendors. 3 bids were received before the deadline. The bid meeting most of the bid requirements and specifications is from Popular Subscription Services. The Library Services Department reports this is not our most recent vendor, however, we have had them in the past. After careful review, the administration recommends that the board award the contract to Popular Subscription Services for a total cost of $9,115.66.
Do I have a motion to accept the centralized library subscription bid?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the bid, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. You're passed. You're good. Next item is an early education program report. Give me that one, Joy. Okay.
I'm really pleased to be here this evening to share some of our success stories in early education. We want our children to succeed in elementary and secondary school, so we look at the MAP scores. Looking at our communication arts scores from last spring, looking first at children who had not been in early education, and then looking at children who had been in early education, we're proud. And that's our staff. I'm proud of those too. Same thing happens in math. Children who had not been in early ed are at one level, and the children who had been in PAT and preschool are at another level. This slide is important because it shows that we really need the whole picture. Here we see the scores from children who have been in no early ed programs. The green is children who have been in one of the programs, either preschool or parents as teachers. But you put them both together and it's a package that's successful. Communication arts and math. If children have been in both, they're very successful. Same in 5th grade, and same over the years. As we look at from 2006 to 2012, this is communication arts in 3rd grade, and compare it to children who've been in early ed, the early ed children score higher. And I could show you this kind of a graph beginning in 1999 when we first looked at this. The pattern has been the same ever since then. Shows up in the STAR reading tests, shows up in the STAR math tests. So why does this happen? Well, of course, I will tell you we have wonderful teachers and wonderful parent educators, but we also have opportunity. We have the opportunity to impact children at the time their brains are really changing fast. Newborns have a very thin networks connecting their brain cells. By the time they're 2, it's very dense, and by the time they're 6, it's organized. And the timing is right because we start with the babies. So we celebrate parents as teachers this year. It's 30 years since the legislature passed the program for the state of Missouri and funding for that program. Mildred Winter on the right is one of our own. She lives in Ferguson, and she was truly the founder of Parents as Teachers after she started Saturday school here. Here you see the trio that were really the powers behind the process. Former Commissioner Arthur Mallory, Senator then Governor Kit Bond, and Mildred had the firm belief that parents really are their children's first and most influential teachers, and they had the persistence and the political savvy to make it happen. 2 of our district employees, Carol Janik and Amanda I, were also honored at this event as a mother and daughter who were in the original pilot project of Parents as Teachers. So what about funding for Parents as Teachers? We're still funded now the way we were then, that very first year. We get paid on a per home visit basis. If we deliver a home visit, we get paid for that visit. If we do a screening, we get paid for that screening. We are required and enjoy providing group activities, but no longer do we get funding for those. Used to, but not any longer. Children move from the Birth to 3 program into our preschool program. In preschool, they still get home visits. They get a lot of literacy, a lot of math, but the real challenging part of it is to help them build their social skills so they can get to the point that they can really work as a team and get along and know what it takes. But I'll tell you, in the beginning, it takes lots of work from our teachers. Coaching and practicing, giving them the words of how to solve their problems on their own. But it happens. They can work it out on their own in the classroom after all that teaching that goes on, and they can do it on the playground, working it out on their own. For our instructional program, we use a studies approach. This particular class is studying shadows. They think this is pretty interesting. They'll go home and tell parents, we played in school today. They generate their own questions about what they want to know about this topic. In this particular case, are all shadows black? Well, as they investigate, they find that no, not all shadows are black. Here's a blue one. And in the process, they learn very advanced vocabulary, such as translucent. And what does that mean? At the end of our studies, we have a culminating activity that always involves parents. Bring them in, do things together. I want to tell you also that this year in our early childhood special education program, we had an excellent on-site visit from the State Department. One of my favorite lines from the exit interview was they told us we have a brilliant program, and the visitor said, I'd be very happy to have my child here. We're proud of what we do. We're proud of your investment in early childhood for wonderful outcomes for children. We're proud of our staff. We have 140 staff members, 2,000 children that we impact, and we thank you for your support. Please come and visit us. Let it be a home visit or a class. We'd really love to have you. Do you have any questions?
Do I have a motion to accept the early education program report?
Move.
Second was Ms. Hodgson? Was it? That's fine. Okay. I thought you said something. Any discussion? Any questions?
I just want to say, I know it's a wonderful program. My kids went through it from beginning to end. I mean, back in 1983 or 84 is when we started with Chris.
The pilot was 81, and then we went statewide in 84.
Yeah.
84, 85.
I want to thank you because I'm a visual learner, and to look at the graphs and to show the difference between students who have attended early ed programs and those who have not, that's significant. It is truly significant, yes, yes. So, and how do you argue with numbers like that? So I want to say thank you for the the early childhood program and how you've worked many years with this program. And I appreciate the work that you put into it and all those who work in the early childhood program. And what I really appreciate is what you get out of it, what the students get out of it. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that information and showing us through the graphs what a difference the early childhood program makes.
You're very welcome. We really appreciate the district's support for this program.
Last year, Rob and I, I thought it was, toured your program. I mean, you know, I would encourage that from anybody in the community and board members. It blew me away. So, good job.
Yeah, we were glad to have you come to Airport School. That's one of our 10 sites. Thank you very much.
Are there any other discussion? Hearing none, do I have all in favor of accepting the early education program report, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Summer Learning Program, Ms. Weitzel.
I'm here this evening on behalf of elementary and secondary education. Dr. Bland isn't here with me this evening because she is at Celebrate Children. But the district plans to operate a summer learning program for elementary, middle, and high school students during the summer of 2014. The summer school program is designed to meet the needs of students requiring additional instructional support, reading below grade level, in jeopardy of being retained or behind in high school credits. The cost for the elementary summer school program is $85,281, funded through Title I funds, and the cost for secondary summer school is $100,895, funded through district funds. This is for board action.
Second.
Do we have any discussion?
I'd just like to know, what are the dates for the program this summer?
Yes. So we had to modify the start date because of our added on dates.
Yes, that was my concern.
So the elementary program starts June 3rd and ends July 1st. And the middle school program, we run our, last year the secondary program the budget was cut in half, so we had to modify the program and running a similar program that we did last year. So we run 7th grade for the first 2 weeks, which is Wednesday, June 4th through Tuesday, June 17th, and then 8th grade, Wednesday, June 18th through Tuesday, July 1st. In the high school, same setup for the first 2 weeks. We do a credit recovery session, which is DECA's model for students who have taken the core class previously and failed it. They do 30 clock hours in order to earn credit. So we have a session first of science and social studies and science from June 4th through June 17th, and our second session runs June 18th through July 1st, and that is math and English. And then at the high school, we also have a few elective classes that have to run the full 4 weeks, morning or afternoon, to get the 60 clock hours to receive the half a credit. So we have art basics, health, personal fitness, ACT prep, and then we also have our online adventure program. So students that are currently enrolled in that program can continue that on for the remainder of the summer.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the summer learning program, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Technology Services, Microfocus, Roomba. Mr. Miller.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to have to start bringing videos, I think, to maybe help with this. The district is seeking to renew the agreement with Microfocus, the sole source provider for Roomba web-to-host software, for the amount of $11,868.15. So I'll just read the overview as well. It's web-to-host software used by the district to facilitate access to our current information systems.
Do I have a motion to accept the Technology Services Microfocus?
Move to accept.
Second.
Any discussion?
I noticed you said our current technology. I know we've gone to the SIS program. When is this going to end?
So SIS actually is going live between now and August. Well, I should say Tyler, the various portions of Tyler are going live between now and August. But we want to keep access to our existing MIS information systems through this changeover along with running parallel. There are some things that we'll probably keep in place for this school year and then reevaluate what we need going forward. Probably be a much lower number, for instance, here. We just need a few users that might need historic access. So this would be able to be a lot less easier to pay for in coming years, if not eliminated completely.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of accepting the technology services?
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
All right, the 2014-2015 school day start and end times. Mr. LaRue.
Wow. The 2014-2015 school day time schedule is presented for board approval. Beginning time, dismissal time, and early dismissal times are consistent with the times that are currently in use for this school year.
Do I have a motion to accept the 2014-2015?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the 2014-2015 school day start and end time, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Mr. O'Neill is up to talk about a new roof in Combs Elementary.
Yes, sir. Thank you. There are 7 roof areas that are in need of replacement at Combs Elementary School, which covers the entire school building. A bid pack was written and to seek bids for a TPO roofing system and an architectural shingle roof system. The TPO system is for the flat roofs, and the architectural system is for the pitched roof. The flat areas will be replaced by TPO, which is a thermoplastic polyolefin, and it's basically a plastic type membrane that seals the roof and all the appendages of it and keep it sealed throughout the year. We started using it a couple of years ago because it's also very energy efficient, seals better, and because the white color reflects the sun, it saves us on energy in the schools that we use. So we're going to continue to use that again. So that's why we're hoping to get this one done on that as well. We advertised in 2 of the papers and on our website. We had 10 vendors that received packets and 7 submitted bids. The sealed bids were opened on March 21st. The lowest and most responsible bid was submitted by Geyser Roofing Company in the amount of $360,190, which is within the budget amount for this project. We have done work with Geyser in the past and have found them to have high quality and professional work. The low bidder was actually Lakeside Roofing at $302,565. However, they did not meet our specifications, and due to that, were eliminated from the bid. They failed to include new installation, which we required on every new roof, and that was approximately $65,000 additional, and obviously would have put them as no longer being the low bid. So we are requesting tonight that the board award the contract to Geyser Roofing Company in the amount of $360,190.
I move we accept the bid.
Second.
I'll give it to Scott seconded. You, and then Scott seconded. I didn't know if you got there or not. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the accepting the bid for the new roof at Combs Elementary, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
All right. Engineering services, you have it too?
All right. Yes, sir. We had a request for qualification for general engineering and architectural services for the general services and selected capital projects, including HVAC, MEP, infrastructure, architectural, and sports fields. A total of 15 vendors received packets and 6 submitted their qualifications. Those sealed submissions were open on March 21st. We had an extensive review we conducted using a panel of 4 district staff members. Each of those submissions were rated individually by those members and sent to me after they were completed. We tried to look at criteria that would find the ones that would best serve our district based on engineering and architectural needs. Familiarity with our type of work, the familiarity with our codes in our area, and emphasis on local codes and municipalities, and that all qualifications specified in the RFQ were met, including licensed engineers and architects. Based solely on the specifications as required by state law for public entities, the panel selected Weiss Design Group. All of those submitting met the basic qualifications and license. Weiss Design Group had unique qualities that the panel felt best served the needs of this district, including knowledge and experience locally, specifically in the Ferguson-Florissant School District. They have had an abundance of knowledge and experience with local municipalities, county codes, rules, and regulations. They have an excellent working relationship with many of our North County municipalities. The president and principal of the firm is a product of North County, specifically the Ferguson-Florissant area. They've worked on school district projects, sports fields, arenas, construction, HVAC, structural, infrastructure, parking lots, streets, drainage, sewers, etc. We met with the president of the firm to negotiate fees as required by the state law and discuss projects, the costs, process, procedures, timelines, and the specific needs of our district. We felt very strongly that they'll provide service efficiently and timely. They provide a very personalized service to their clients based on references and past experience with their company. The fee we agreed upon during the negotiation was 10% of the actual project cost for projects under $1 million and 8% for projects $1 million and over. They'll be used on an as-needed basis. There is no specific project that they will be assigned that will make the decision as each project comes available. We try on most of our projects to use our own staff and to also use any of our contractors that we use in the past. We have a relationship to write specs for us, but in some cases we do need engineering. That's when we would use this firm. So tonight, based on the panel's recommendation, we're asking that the board approve a contract for engineering and architectural service with Weiss Design Group.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the Weiss Design Group for engineering services, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Check signatures, Ms. Madrusi.
Good evening, members of the board, Mr. LaRue. Missouri school law requires that all checks drawn on district funds should be signed by the president and the treasurer of the board. With the election of new officers in April, the district needs to update our facsimile signature for checks as well as update the bank signature cards. Administration is recommending that we update our signature cards and facsimile to indicate Rob Chabot as president and Teresa George as treasurer.
Do I have a motion?
I move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Who got it? Keith did? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the signatures, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right.
Okay.
The audit engagement letter.
Administration is requesting approval to enter into an agreement for audit services with Showalter and Jabori audit firm. The audit for 13-14 will be the second year of the 3-year contract with the firm.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Are you pretty well satisfied with their services last year?
Yes, they were very thorough.
Okay. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. We will continue the relationship. Student accident insurance.
All athletes are required to have health insurance in order to participate in athletics. Administration is seeking approval to use K&K Insurance Group in order to offer optional student accident insurance for our families who do not currently have insurance for their students. This program is available through Arthur J. Gallagher, which is the district's risk management service. We did use this vendor last year.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
The next agenda items have to do with board operations. Our membership dues are coming due for the Missouri School Board Association for the 2014-2015 school year. The cost is going to be $12,128.
I move for redo.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'd just like to point out that the whole reason to belong to an organization like this is to avail ourselves of the training, both their conferences and their meetings. And so we know that there will be some travel costs and so forth that follow this up, but we really need to do that to make sure we stay current on all the latest happenings, both legally and educationally, so we stay on top of what's going on in education. We can't just sit in our own little corner and expect to be the best school district around. And so we really do need to avail ourselves of this training.
I know I've found MSB to be quite helpful on many occasions, both legal services and the education programs they provide, the information they provide on legislative goings on in Jeff City, and it's very good information. So.
Any other discussion? All in favor of renewing our membership with the MSBA, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, Mr. LaRue for suspension of policy 4051.
The board may suspend policy 4051 requirement that all meetings of the board be held within the district per the application of policy 4044, suspension of policies and bylaws. The Board of Education will meet in executive session to discuss personnel on Sunday, May 19th, 2014 at the St. Charles Family Arena at the time that is currently set at 2:45 p.m. to approximately 3:45 p.m.
A small amendment. It should be May 18, I believe, is Sunday. I think there's a typo.
That is correct. It is the 18th?
Thank
So
you.
it is the 18th.
I move we adopt this.
Second.
Any discussion regarding the suspension of this policy?
Just as a clarification, this is just a one-time suspension. We're not suspending the policy. It's just only this one day.
It is for this purpose only. Other events would need to go through the same process.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. It makes us clearly in line with the Sunshine Law and our own policies, and it's a big improvement of what happened last year. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of suspension of policy 4051, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
This portion of the meeting will consist of suggestions or questions from the audience. A maximum of 15 minutes is provided for suggestions and or questions from members of the audience. Members of the audience who wish to speak to the board are requested to speak from the podium, identify themselves, and limit remarks to 3 minutes. In keeping with District Policy 4059 and Personnel Law, speakers should refrain from making negative comments that are personally identifiable. To comply with the Missouri Sunshine Law and District Policies 4054 and 4059, board members will not respond to comments made during the public comment period. The subject of the public comments will be noted in the minutes and appropriately addressed by the district.
Good evening, I'm Tony Barrow from Pack Community Resource Center. I am the executive director there. My question to you all is, I have 2 questions. 1, do you know what PACT is about? Anybody? Don't have to answer. My suggestion is that you do come out and learn what PACT is all about. I have a couple of you on the board who always offer your services. Thank you, Paul Schrader. Thank you, Paul Morris. I would like to have, we do have video. Just as good. We do some great things. I got my 100 mark. We're doing all those things. I would like to commend Dr. Eric Winkler, Dr. Diggs, on what they're doing for PAC and what they're doing for our kids over at Duchesne. I call them up, I tell them what I need. The 21st century went really well this year. We did a lot of work. Generally, what I have been doing over the last 5 years is going to different schools every year. But we found at Duchesne, there are some kids there that need some extra. Robin talked about it earlier. She talked peace, love, blah, blah, blah. There are some kids over there that are below reading level. There's some kids over there that are below math, but they're coming up. Because we're doing STEM, and I call it STEAM because we got that A in there, we're putting some heart to it. Because we're doing all of that over there, I'm learned from the principal, kids are coming to school more often because they don't want to miss out. We open up a farm over at Atonement Lutheran, 14 raised beds. You see it? Beautiful. I want you guys to come see it. On Tuesdays, we put them all up in the bus. PAC has a bus. We put them all up in the bus. We drive them down to Atonement. They go down there. The whole premise of it is, if you put good seed into fertile ground, you will do what? People produce a harvest. I want to know when you're coming. Now, I've been up here before, inviting you. Maybe I need to cook a dinner. I got the video. I got the 100 points. I got Dr. Winkler. I got Dr. Diggs. They say it's good. I know it's good. You know it's good. But I'm going to have to pull on you this year. Really hard, because I need your help. So, when are you coming? I understand from what you just read, you're not supposed to talk. Just give me one of these. And I'll know what you're saying. So my suggestion to you is, come and see what's happening. It is a world of difference over there. We've got a full-fledged program this year. I'm with AAUW. All of them have silver hair. That's the American Association of United Women, University Women. They're coming to do a special mentoring program for our kids over the summer. I'm with the 4-H. I'm on the state council, so they're coming, and we're coming 2 times this summer a day. So we have a lot of things going on this summer. You won't have an excuse, oh, it wasn't that day. Last year, Service Florida gave us 1 scholarship for 1 girl. She did so well, they gave her another scholarship this year. She's been all over the United States, right here from Ferguson-Florissant. This year, Dr. Diggs, over at Susie Kelly School, middle school, one of her students just won from NCCU the Citizenship of the Year for service to the community. Did you bring that with you? Okay. She just won that last Sunday, big dinner, blah, blah, blah. We're doing some things over at Duchesne that you would be proud of. I appreciate all you do. One last thing, and I'm not trying to get points from Diggs, but I needed some, because see, we don't get part of that $85,000 y'all just gave out tonight. I don't get a damn with that, and I'm free. So the bottom line is, I needed some help. So I called Dr. Diggs and said, well, no, I think we met in person. What can you do? Robin just told me, I'm sending you some construction paper. She sent out a note last week. I got more construction paper and art that I need for the summer. So you've got some people that know what we're doing and they're willing to help out. When are you coming? Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Benz. I actually wanted to bring something to your attention that you probably already know about, and that is Senate Bill 493. Many are referring to it as the transfer bill. I don't know if you were aware, but this evening the Senate has passed that bill, and tomorrow it'll be going to the House for its final approval, and then obviously to the governor. I've been following this, well, the whole time. People know it as the transfer bill, but it's more than that. It affects our finances, it affects our accreditation, it affects attendance and many of the requirements that we need to meet. It affects our calendar, there's just so many things that have been discussed and that are in this bill. It is an overall elementary and secondary education bill. So if you have not done so already, I highly suggest you going on to the Missouri House website. You can find the complete current state of the bill with all of the amendments that the Senate has put in, the House has put in, and it's gone back and forth, and if it's gone to conference and all kinds of stuff. There is one particular thing that I wanted to address to you guys besides contacting your representatives and please asking them to vote for this bill tomorrow. It's not perfect, but if we don't do anything, then we're going to have a whole lot of uncertainty for our district and all the districts in the area, not just those who are currently unaccredited. But one of the things that actually I was a little concerned about is that one of the things they had put in here was that the sharing of superintendents, and that could possibly directly affect us, even though when it was put in there during the discussion, it was brought up that, oh, only rural districts who have, low income, they're smaller budgets would share a superintendent. I know we're in a superintendent search, and I know we have financial problems, but I would like to ask, because of the size of our district, that you guys please do not consider anything like that. I'm not saying you have, I'm just saying that this does open up, if it is fully passed, it would open that up where a superintendent could be shared between two districts, and I don't think that would be beneficial for our district of this size. So I just wanted to give my opinion on that. So please read the bill. I'm not exactly sure what time it's going to be brought up tomorrow in the House, but if you do want to listen in, well, I can send out a thing on Facebook and let you know, because I'm going to be following it tomorrow. As soon as I hear, I'll be announcing that they're voting on it. But you can actually listen in at mdn.org, and they have the audio. You can live MP3.
Do we have anybody else that wishes to speak? Do I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Or do we need a roll call? All right, Mr. Morris.
Mr. Hebert? Aye. Mr. Brown? Aye. Mr. Schrader?
Aye.
Dr. Thurman? Aye. Secretary votes aye. Ms. Hogshead? Mr. President?
Aye.